predicts, look into the future, and look into the NFL games for Sunday. Um, yeah, I don't. How am I gonna do this one? Because there's so many games to choose from, and but I'm gonna pick one game from the AFC, and then I'm gonna pick one game from the NFC to talk about. And so AFC, right? You've got to go with the Chiefs and Jacksonville Jaguars. Excuse me. So this game has got some very very interesting, um, a lot of things around it. There's the hype of the Chiefs. The Chiefs lost to the Lions, and they're going to lose to Trevor Lawrence. I think that what's going to make the difference in this game is the return of two. I want to say two things, but actually two people, and that is Chris Jones. Now, Chris Jones held out. Chris Jones is a defensive tackle. Just kind of say that he plays in the defense, and he's a major, major problem. Last season, he had about 15 and a half sacks, I think. He did. And the one thing about Chris Jones is that, and I know this firsthand from the Dallas Cowboys playing the Kansas City Chiefs last season or the season before last, was that he comes alive in the fourth quarter. Now, for those of you who are new to NFL, or just beginning to pick up the sport, the NFL is a game of four quarters. The first quarter, each quarter is 15 minutes, and so you play the first two quarters, and then you have a halftime, and then you play the next two quarters. Now the fourth quarter is usually what we call the money quarter. This is where players get reputation. If you're a quarterback, they talk about fourth quarter comebacks. Maybe your team is losing, and then you crawl and scratch and do everything to make sure that they get the win. And Chris Jones is destructive. When it comes to the fourth quarter, he sacks the quarterback. Um, so he's going to be a difference for the Kansas City Chief. I think his absence was felt. I mean, you could argue that they didn't give up too many points against the Lions, but I think that his importance to the team is really cannot be understated. And then Travis Kelsey. Listen, um, Mahomes doesn't is not the same thing without Travis Kelsey. He is the best receiver for the Chiefs, and he's a tight end. So that tells you a lot. Now I made some notes. I was looking at some of the things to watch out. In that game, and running back, you've got to give Jacksonville Jaguars the edge. ATN, I think, is better than any of the running backs that are there on the Chiefs squad, whether it's Pacheco or it's Claire Edwards Hilaire. Um, I just think Etienne is the better running back. So I give the edge running back to Jaguars. Now, wide receiver Ridley, Travis Kelsey. Listen, Travis Kelsey is a monster, so he's got the edge there. Quarterbacks, definitely Mahomes got the edge. And defense, with Chris Jones back, I sort of put them just slightly ahead of Jacksonville Jaguars. But I think that this game might come down to whoever has the last possession. Because I think that the Jaguars are a very good team. And I think the Chiefs might start off very nervously, because they lost their last game, and they'll try to get some rhythm, get some momentum, and maybe catch fire in the third and fourth quarter. So I'm gonna go for a Chiefs win, but just maybe by a field goal, 3 points. So I think that's what I'm gonna go for. The game I'm gonna look at in the NFC is the Rams versus the 49ers. Now, this is a division game. Now, division games mean a lot more because if you win a division game, sometimes it really doesn't matter what you do outside of your division. The way that the schedule is always, orchestrated is that obviously you play the teams in your division, and then they pick a division either from the AFC another division from the NFC to kind of make up the schedule. And so sometimes, you can do, not so well against opponents outside of your division, but you want to win the games in your division. Now, these two teams have a very, very interesting start. Even though overall their success is very, very different. Now, 49ers haven't won the Super Bowl in a while. Um, the Rams have. But get this, eight consecutive times that the 49ers have played the Rams have lost. And you're like, yeah, yeah, they have. And considering that they've always had a very stacked team, Cooper Cup, amazing. Stafford throws for a million yards, but Cooper Cup is injured in this game, so it's all going to be about the Niners. And listen, I cannot go against the Niners right now because who do you want to stop? Is it Debo Samuel? Well, good luck. Do you want to stop Christian McCaffrey? He can catch, he can run. Debo can catch and can run. And then you got Brandon Ayuk, who can also catch as well. So, oh, and let's not forget there's Josh Kittle as well. So it's there's so many weapons in that 49ers team that you're just thinking to yourself, well, how do we stop this team? So for me, I just have to give it to the 49ers, in this game because I just cannot see any other um, outcome. Really, it's going to take a real, you know, turn of events for the Rams to win this game. I 49ers are going to go 2-0, but yeah, I can't see that. Now, of course, I want to talk about my Cowboys, right? Because, you know, they got some love, this week because if you beat a team 40-0, that that is like, you know, just taking someone's lunchbox and then asking them to, give you a thank you card in addition to that. They absolutely smacked the Giants. Now the Giants are a good team. Listen, they were in the playoffs last season, and so I know people are kind of looking at that and saying, well, it was just a Giant. It wasn't that impressive, but it was still 40-0. So of course the narrative the whole of this week has been, well, the Jets defense are legit. Cowboys offense didn't really do much. So, this, we don't know what to make about the Cowboys. Now I have to say that, the Jets, when you play a team that have just gone through some adversity, i.e., they just lost their quarterback, there's almost a siege mentality that can be going on there, right? Because they'll be thinking to themselves, well, everyone is writing us off. Nobody thinks that we're gonna do anything. And so for that purpose, everyone might be thinking this is an easy win for the Cowboys. Listen, there are no easy wins in the NFL. Everyone is a professional, right? You're talking about players that are getting paid, and they have pride, so when they get on that field, they want to do their job and they want to win. So I don't expect the Jets to come to AT&T Stadium, lovely stadium by the way. I did a tour at the AT&T Stadium. Um, really enjoyed it. But I don't think they're gonna come to the AT&T Stadium and roll over and wait to be tickled. I think they're gonna play hard. They're gonna play hard, and they're gonna want to keep the Cowboys offense on the sideline, right? And then hope that the Jets, with their running back, they've got Brees Hall, running back. They've got Dalvin Cook, running back. Um, and then they've got some interesting wide receivers as well. So I don't think that you can, sleep on them. So this is what you call a trap game because you might think that the opposition is not going to be any good. So I don't want the Cowboys to take the Jets any likely. I want them to take the same energy that they had against the Giants into this game because now Eagles have won 2-0. The Cowboys have to match that. Absolutely have to match that. and they've got the advantage that they've already played a division game, so they're one game up in the division. While the Eagles have played two games outside of the division. So remember what I said. It's really important that you win your division, because if you beat the teams in your division, sometimes that can be the difference between you getting into the playoff and not getting to the playoff, or even having the right kind of seeding. So I'm looking at the Cowboys, and I'm thinking to myself, got Dak Prescott, nice. CD Lamb, will be balling. I expect that. Brandon Cooks, balling. Got Trevor Diggs and Stephen Gilmore, cornerbacks, doing what they're supposed to do. And listen, Tony Pollard. I think this kind of game will be made for Tony Pollard, because the Jets are going to want to run the ball. And I think it's important for us to establish the run and also maintain time of possession, which means that we can actually control the game, get some points, get ahead, and then just run the ball with Rico Dottle, with Tony Pollard. You know, I just want to have us a nice clean game, right? And I think that there's some things that McCarthy has been doing, Coach McCarthy, for the Cowboys, and that is allowing Dak Prescott to release the ball. Now, I think I saw that he had the fastest release of the football in the first round of games in game week one. It's about 2.5 seconds or something ridiculous. So he got the ball out fast. So which means that they were scheming, the players, to make sure that he didn't spend too much time going through all his reads and his progressions. And that simply means that he was deciding who he was going to throw the ball to. And I think that's a good thing. I think that brings, a lot of efficiency for the Cowboys. It means that it minimizes mistakes. And someone was talking about, I was listening to, a podcast show. Shout out to Voch Lombardi. He does a pretty good podcast. And if I'm honest, I've learned a lot, from watching, his shows. And I think, they were talking about, the fact that, what were they saying now? I've lost my train of thoughts. But they were talking about, sort of the Cowboys overall, and the fact that, with the way that, oh yes, so Dak Prescott was doing a lot of adjustment, at the scrimmage, at the point of scrimmage, and this is the, pre-snap adjustment, and then, sort of getting to the line of scrimmage, and then just changing the plays, adjusting the plays. And sometimes you hear that, when the quarterback is saying kill, 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 that means that potentially they're changing the play and going to something else. And what they're trying to do is minimize that, so that, Dak Prescott really just focuses on, just getting the ball out or handing the ball off and all of that. So we're gonna see how that makes a difference, the Cowboys. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to win this game. And I'm gonna go by at least a touchdown. It could be more, but I don't want us to go very likely against the Jets, because I think they'll be good. So Cowboys, Jets, Cowboys take the win. So let me know what you think about the predictions. Do you agree? What do you think will happen in the games? Is there any surprises in an upset that you think will happen? Post your comments. Put your scores as well, and I'll be sure to get through, all of your cousins as well. And listen, guys, you know, this community that we're building here, for a lot of the UK fans, and for everybody out there as well. So help us build this community. Subscribe, like, make a comment. These are the things that helps to grow the channel. So yeah, so that was my look at this Sunday night football. And how would I be watching the game? Well, I'm gonna have my setup. I'm gonna do a pre-game, just warm up tomorrow, being Sunday. So I'm recording this on a Saturday, getting it out there. But yeah, I'll do something on Sunday, so watch out for that content as well. And there's some other content on the channel as well. So please go and watch it and like it. Make some comments, and we'll see you at the next time.